Hello everyone, it's Peter here, Piotr Fissner. How you doing, guys? Hello. So, behind me you've got a 2-in-1 PC. Came as Deadman. It came with its own original power supply. So, when you plug in this cable here, you can see that you do have 240, 250 degree volts. Yes. So let's plug that in. Let's get the meter, one of the meters. Okay, that will do. Let's turn it on to the AC, and you will see that it's fine. Yes, you get a 250 to 40 volts. Customer is writing. So anyways, let's plug it in. That's one probe and the second probe, and you can see, whatever you see, 230 here is, yes, 230 volts. That's fine. No problem whatsoever. True RMS. Okay, without true RMS you've got more. Now, when you will plug in this one, you should switch to the DC, and you should have 19 volts. Well, you do now, yes? So now you know this power supply is good, okay? But what's happening is, when you plug it in to the computer, when customer brought that computer in, was that the computer was shorting, and here you could have 0.00. So in this case, we knew that main power rail was for some reason shorted because it was cutting off the power on this very plug. But as you see, it's working. And you might be wondering what was faulty. Yes? Faulty was capacitor 0805 size, which is as tiny as you can see it. So that capacitor was causing the whole shortage of the computer. That's why you shouldn't go to the IT company to fix your electronics. You should go to Intecracy to fix your electronics. Because they would tell you replace the whole motherboard, whereas you need to replace a whole capacitor. This cost pennies, and whole repair costs you less than the whole motherboard. Yes? And if you go to the IT company, they will tell you that the motherboard is faulty and you need to pay for the labor on top of that. So in that case, you'll pay even more, much more, plus that mainboard would go to the landfill. So apprentice came, yes, Paweł, and I said, you know what, because I know how to do it, how to find the problem, I won't be doing it. You open the PC, the all-in-one PC, and what we can do is I will guide you, because he already knows some basic of the electronics. He wasn't exactly sure which components can short and which don't. Then I told him that polarity matters. So if the component touches plus and minus, then it's the component which can short, like capacitors, diodes even. It depends which, because some of the diodes can be shorted and they can still not show you exactly the short. In some cases it's varied, but most of the time diode shorted will show you the short. And I said as well transistors, yes, and other stuff. So then I've told him, look, if you plug in the power and automatically from 19 volts you see that on the same very power supply you get 0, that means this power supply is shorted. So you need to take out the main board, plug it in again when nothing is connected to the main board, and see if that's the case. If that will be the case, you know that the fault is on the main board rather than on any peripherals attached to it. Yes? Because let's say if display would short it, not the main board, you would then know it. Yes? So the short was still there. So I said, how you would find the fault to it? Yes, not just idle. So how would you find it? Yes, and he didn't know. I said, okay, so let's say you've got main power rail and you're supplying it. You will use this power supply. It's cutting off, so you can't use it because it's shutting off the power. What you need to use bench power supply and supply the voltage, and we call it voltage injection. Yes, so I said you can start small, and if you won't see any difference, make sure that it's a main power rail, increase the volts so you will have in between 5 to 10 watts. Like, I need to pick it up, customer. Okay, be right back. Sorry, two customers are simultaneously disturbing at the moment, so I had to make a wee break because, you know, customers comes first here. So anyways, what I want to say is, so I said if you will use the bench power supply and you are sure that that's not the power, that's not the rail which is only 1 volt, you can even go beyond 1 volt and you'll be fine. But if it's 19 volts power rail, you don't for real need more than 3 to 5 volts, because the number of amperes will allow volts times amperes to get those few watts. If you've got those few watts, you can find a short. Now he said, oh, but we need to use thermal camera. And I said, no, thermal cameras are for rookies most of the time. Most of the time you can find the fault with an old-fashioned way. That's mean if you've got enough amperes and enough volts, you just touch your hand, yes, like impulses, yes, not and hold it, because if you will hold it and it will be super hot, it will burn you, yes. So just try to touch it. Well, he was doing it for a bit longer, so he felt, you know, too hot. And they say, oh, that's the coil. And I'm saying, coil is in series with the rail, power rail, so it can't be the coil. There can be that IC small on the side, or there can be those capacitors, which were 0805. So I said, now if you know which area it is, just tap it, yes, tap it, like try to locate and put, you know, voltage inject it, yes. And if you will be sure that that's the area, use IPA, spray it, and then plug it in and observe. If you will observe it, you will see what's the problem. So he've done it, and then he said, oh, look, that's the capacitor, yeah? So that was the capacitor. I said, well done. Yes, you found the culprit. Remove it and check if you got short at that place. So he didn't believe me. He took the meter and he did check that it's a short. Of course it will be short of it. But anyways, now he got experience, so now he's better off. So yes, so now the next step, I said, remove that. And he couldn't remove it, yes? And I had to step in and help. I don't see where, okay, it's here. So I took this and I said use this and remove that capacitor. You don't need a hot air to remove 0805 capacitor. If you need 0805 removed by the hot air, well, time to upgrade the knowledge, yes. So he couldn't remove it, so I said, okay, look, you need to add more solder, and if you want to help yourself, add more flux. If you're gonna add more flux, jelly flux, then you will be better off. It will go easier, yes, because the solder will grab better with this. He still couldn't do it, so I went few seconds and I've done it, maybe more than few seconds. So I removed that and I've showed him. He didn't, when he added the solder, he had enough solder, he didn't have enough flux, and he didn't heat it up properly, so he still have on the full power soldering iron, T12 of course, so 24 about volts and about 2-3 amps, and then I just press properly, I've added flux, pressed properly, use my tweezers, small tweezers, and I removed that. So I removed that and he tested and said, oh, no short, yeah? So I'm saying, yes, great. So I gave him a bag of all the components and I said, first you need to choose the size, because the capacitance doesn't matter that much, you know. What matter are those sizes, 0603 sizes, 0402 sizes, yes, and there should be 0805 sizes, yes. So those sizes first are matter, and then you can put even the highest capacitance and you'll be fine. Whatever circuit is built over there, it won't take more stuff that it needs, more juice. You'll be still okay, yes. So I said just use the biggest one, and we found 10 microfarads. So I said okay, put 10 microfarads, yes. So he plays that and he's saying wow, still no short, yes. So I said yes, so clean it up, yes, try it, put power supply. So he plays the power supply and he's saying wow, there is a light, yes, because there was a light. So okay, assemble it, yes. Then he assembled it. We had an issue with one connector, so this was giving us weird noisy sounds and so on, but didn't boot up. And then finally, you know, it did boot up and show us only that the charger is bad, because we didn't use this charger. We used Dell charger. So it was showing the wrong charger. Now it's working fine because I've used my universal power supply, yes. So I need to test only this charger right now. I mean this power supply, and that's the end of the story. So that's, guys, what you see. Small component shouldn't determine the device if it go into the landfill or not. That shouldn't. We're humans, we've built it, we should be able to fix it, yes. And it doesn't matter. IT technician, if see a problem, they should be able to have an access to the electronics repair shop, which then can determine to the component level, rather than go into the landfill with that board. And next one, please, yes, or replace the whole computer because you can't replace a whole capacitor. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to show you. Hope you've got a lesson out of it. What else I can say? Thank you for watching. If you learned something, or if it's sort of worth anybody's time and hassle to watch it, if you can, please do like, and see you in the next video. If possible, let's fix them all. Thank you. Bye bye.